Welcome back to an all-new episode of What If here on the Filmaholic channel. And today we are talking about the 1989 film Roadhouse. And we are recasting it, giving it a new director, all in modern day. Ethan, I'm going to let you go first on this one.
All right, I'm ready.
For one, I want to see what characters. I know you might have done some more characters.
I did a few more characters. You just want to know who my Dalton is. All right. So the director told you he's Taylor Sheridan. Assuming he's going to write it. I don't know. I don't really care. I trust him. I'm going to do Dalton last, just to keep you guessing.
Oh, sick.
Brad Wesley for the villain. I went with Steve Carell. Yeah, I want to see what he's got in this villain role, like Foxcatcher. This is going to get him the Academy Award. He's not getting cheated. He's going to win. Tillman, the guy who owns the Double Douche. You'll appreciate this. I got John Hamm.
Odd. Okay. I would have seen him more as Wesley, but
how dare you? He's Tillman. I'm gonna go through the list of the other people. For Tinker, I got Paul Walter Hauser, small role on Brad Wesley's team. I'm gonna go through all of Brad Wesley's, like I guess the antagonist first. I got Pat, who is like the bartender gets fired. I got James Vanderbeek popping up in here. Small role. O'Connor, another one of like the henchmen, is Peter Stormare.
Okay.
And let's see, I got Denise, who's like Brad Wesley's girlfriend. I got Jenny McCarthy.
Give her something to do.
Yeah, she's got to have something. And then like the big I guess big fight guy for Brad Wesley is Jimmy, and I got John Bernthal.
Well, we have one of the same there.
Okay. Then I guess on the protagonist side, I told you got John Hamm, who owns the bar. You know, a couple people who work for him. You got Carrie, which is Jenny Slate.
That was my first thought. I mean, she's a good fit for it, but then I ended up, you know, how I like to do. I look at who my director is and who my screenwriter is, because in this case, I picked a director and a screenwriter.
Yeah.
Usually I don't do that, but we'll get to why I did that. But then I like to pick who they worked with.
Yeah, I got her. She's coming in. Jack, Hank, and Steve are all people, you know, and Morgan, who work at the bar at the beginning. Jack, I got Jorge Garcia from Lost. Hank, I got Pete Miller from The Office. And Obvious Child plays Plop in The Office. Steve, I got John Gallagher Jr. from Hush and Short Term 12. And then Morgan, Carrie Funk played the original role as a wrestler. I got Triple H, or Paul Levesque, coming in for this. He's already got acting experience. Biggest role was Blade Trinity, across from Ryan Reynolds. He's coming in. Keep the legacy alive. Other side characters I got, still at the bar, you got Cody and his band. I got Matt Berninger and The National filling that role. Other people, Red, I got Eric Stoltz, which is the uncle of Doc. And for her, I cast Scarlett Johansson.
Not bad.
Trying to see like who else. And then I've got Emmett bringing in a legacy again. I got Sam Elliott.
We have quite a bit of the same, but also a lot of the different.
He's coming back, carrying it. Patrick Swayze would be in it, making a cameo if he were alive. But I got to keep Sam Elliott in there as Emmett. Then I got Dalton and Wade Garrett left. Keep you guessing. Any ideas?
Well, your Dalton could be the same as mine, but I don't know. And then I have no idea who your Wade Garrett is.
For Dalton, I went with Chris Evans.
Okay, no, we don't have the same one.
I think he's got it. He obviously can act. There's not really any kind of question about that throughout his career. And he, like with Dalton, the character, is kind of stoic for the most part. I think Chris Evans could pull that off. I told you how I felt. He could pull off the longer hair. And then Wade Garrett as the older mentor to Dalton. I got Keanu Reeves.
Not a bad casting. Definitely, not mine, but not bad.
He's coming in. You got that calm zen about himself, but he ain't taking nothing off nobody.
My guy's cool with it.
Oh yeah, get out of here.
You know it's true.
Your guy wishes he was cooler.
So mine, I'm gonna go ahead and start things off. My film, My Roadhouse, is written by Taylor Sheridan, who also wrote and directed yours. He's only writing mine, and he'll cameo in it. I don't have a role listed for him, but he will have a cameo in the film. But it'll actually be directed by David Mackenzie, who directed Hell or High Water, which was off of a screenplay by Taylor Sheridan. And I just think that was a great combo there. And I want to see what they can do with Roadhouse. Ever since I've been thinking about what a modern day Roadhouse would look like, David Mackenzie was the first person to come to mind to direct it. And then I had other people that well, they could do it. And at the end of the day, I was like, no, David Mackenzie, that's what I want. So he's directing my film. To go like you did and to choose the villain first, to go ahead and list that, my Brad Wesley, you're never going to guess who it is.
But they've worked with Taylor Sheridan?
They've worked now. So most of the actors who I cast, aside from my Wade Garrett and a few others, they have worked with either David Mackenzie or Taylor Sheridan. Because
I've only seen Hell or High Water from David Mackenzie, but Florence Pugh was in Outlaw King. So I'm wondering if she's in your cast.
She is not, unfortunately.
Mind
your own business, man. Damn. Well, not even going to start with Brad Wesley now, because now I have to start with Dalton. Yeah. So my Dalton to lead this film as the main character is Chris Pine. Yeah. I originally had somebody else as Dalton, but then this guy kind of was my number 2, my second choice. But then when I rewatched Hell or High Water recently, I was like, oh man, he's got the longer hair. I can see him in this role.
Around about the longer hair.
Kicking ass. Yeah, I can see it. And I think he's an underrated actor in general too. I think personally, Chris Pine. So yeah.
Brad Wesley though he's worked with Taylor Sheridan or David Mackenzie.
He's worked with David Mackenzie. So I'm gonna wait till last now to say him, since you don't know that. And then my second casting choice for Wade Garrett, since you know who Wade Garrett is, playing the best character in the film. My personal favorite character, originally played by Sam Elliott, but this time I'm bringing Brad Pitt in to play Wade Garrett. Super cool.
He can pull off the long hair too.
He can pull off the long hair. It's gonna break the audience's heart when he gets killed in the film. But you see him kicking ass too. It's gonna be cool. And he hasn't worked with them before, but I would love to see him do a screenplay written by Taylor Sheridan. Directed by David Mackenzie. That'd be cool too. So that's my Dalton and Wade Garrett. Like I said, I'm gonna wait for Wesley until last now. Tillman, the one who recruits Dalton to come in, the owner of the club. I got Shea Wigham.
I like Shea Wigham.
Yeah. I think he's an underrated, especially underrated character actor. I feel like aside a lot of things. I like him, bringing him in. I guess I'll go and start with some of the good people first. After that, I got Jack, also working at the club, bigger guy. I got Jesse Plemons in there coming in as Jack. He hasn't worked with these filmmakers before, but he's somebody who I like, and I just thought he could fit in that role.
I think I would have put him as Hank instead of Jack.
For Hank, I have Jamie Bell. Do you know who that is?
Yeah.
I haven't seen him in too much. That's Film Stars Don't Die in Liverpool or whatever. And I don't remember the exact title, but he was pretty good in that. I know he's been in some other stuff, and not a huge role, I don't think, Hank, but I'm gonna put him in there. And he's worked with them before. For Red Webster, I changed it because I don't really feel like the red thing is that essential. And when I was looking it up, the actor's name was Red too, so I was like, okay. So I changed mine to Gil Webster, and I chose Gil Birmingham as Gil Webster, who obviously was in Hell or High Water, and he's in a lot of, I think, Sheridan stuff. Looking at it,
and that's is it still Doc's uncle or no?
It could be. It doesn't really. You could say as a family friend, or you could say he's her uncle. Whatever you want to do. I think either way it could really work. But I feel like he would be perfect for owning that store. I think I like him. I like everything I've seen him in. I think he's done a good job despite the movie. Yeah. And getting to see him kill the villain at the end too, or shoot, use the gun.
Pretty cool. Few of
them. Like I said, I already got Hank. Carrie, I cast Kelsey Isabel. I think it's pronounced her name.
I don't know her by name.
So she played Gigi in One Tree Hill, and she also played in Wind River.
Yeah.
I got her coming in as Carrie. And then obviously, like I said, I brought Sam Elliott back to play Emmett, and we also have the same Cody in the band for the National coming in doing the music for the film. I think that's really the only choice.
Yeah, it is the only choice.
And then the last one for, I guess, the good side is Doc, and I cast Elizabeth Olsen as Doc.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. After you said it wasn't Florence Pugh, that must be the only person. Yeah,
I think she would do a really good job with that.
Brad Wesley.
All right, now we're on to the. What's that?
Is it Ben Foster?
No, he didn't make it in there. He almost. I thought about him for Jimmy, but then I ended up choosing John Bernthal as Jimmy. I can definitely see that. I can see Ben Foster doing it too, but I think John Bernthal. I don't know. Maybe it's the Hell or High Water thing that I've seen too.
About him.
Yeah. So I got him as that, and plus, I mean, we've seen him in Wind River play like such a limited role in the film that I feel like he would definitely come and do this.
Yeah.
So I got him as Jimmy. And then for Pat, I cast Austin Butler. This is one that I kind of had a hard time casting because I had some other people first, and then I ended up going with Austin Butler because the actor needed to be, young enough because he's Wesley's nephew, right?
Well, it's by marriage.
Something like that. So he needed to be younger than whoever I cast for Wesley. So he ended up going with Austin Butler for Pat. For O'Connor, I cast Kevin Rankin. Do you know who that is? He's been in several things. I'm pretty sure he was in Breaking Bad. He was also in Hell or High Water. He worked at one of the banks, the first bank they go to. He knows what they're doing, but he's like pretending like he doesn't.
Oh, okay. So, he works in Hell or High Water. He's the one who handles the trust or whatever. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I know him by face.
Yeah. So I got him in there. And then for Steve, I have Ian Bowen, who's somebody who's also been in a lot of Taylor Sheridan's stuff. I know he's in some of the shows and other different stuff when I was looking over the filmography. And then for Morgan, I did not cast.
You cast a wrestler.
I cast Rory McCann.
How dare you?
As Morgan. Do you know who that is from?
I watch Game of Thrones. Yeah, I know who he is.
Game of Thrones. Yeah.
He's not a wrestler though. That's what I know.
He's big. He can do the job. He's an actor. That's what I care about.
He could be the other henchman. He could be O'Connor.
Well, Kevin Rankin, actually, I had him as Pat first, but then I was like, he's too old to play this character, so I switched him and put him as O'Connor, and then Austin Butler in there as Pat. Yeah, and then the final casting decision I have is for Brad Wesley playing the villain of the film. You got any more guesses?
That worked with Taylor Sheridan.
No, David Mackenzie.
Well, Hell or High Water is the only thing I watched. So, I mean,
I haven't seen this film. This is one of his earlier things.
Yeah,
I was just going through his filmography.
If it's not Jeff Bridges, I don't know.
I ended up going with Ewan McGregor as Brad Wesley.
Should have made him red, dude.
God. Ewan McGregor is somebody who is an actor I've liked for a while. I think he was the best part of. Margot Robbie was good in it too, but something new, anyways. I thought he was like the best part of Birds of Prey. So we've seen him play a villain now, but I mean, we watched that Son of a Gun movie where he plays, I guess, sort of like a villain in that, but I can definitely see him in this, and he's also, young enough and attractive enough that I can see him with Doc too, Elizabeth Olsen.
Yeah.
In the past, because that's where I was like, I kept thinking about actors who I wanted, and I was like, I can't see them in this relationship. I don't know.
Johansson, dude.
So yeah, I ended up going with Ewan McGregor. I think he would do a good job. He's worked with, pretty sure could be Taylor Sheridan, but I'm pretty sure based off my memory because I did this like a week ago. But I think he's worked with David Mackenzie before. But yeah, that's our version of Roadhouse if it was made today, who we would like to see play in the film and who we would like to see direct it, and in my case write it as well. Next week we're doing Dazed and Confused for What If, so I'm curious what you're going to choose for that, because I already have my directors, writers, and a couple casting decisions, but I'm having a lot of trouble with the other casting decisions.
I'm sure you will. You chose that movie quite randomly just because you watched it.
Yep. All right, guys. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel, and we will see you guys next week.